Welcome to
Oh,
the
sure.
call. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you? Yes, I can. Can you read me?
Of course, yeah, I
Okay,
can hear you
there
well.
you go. Sorry for being late.
No, you're okay, you're okay.
Oh,
We
it's
just
all
we
right.
just got started talking. Benjamin's his counselor and he is afraid to have like cameras on him, or he doesn't like having cameras on him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Lauro, your background, I'm curious to know more about that as well, but on YouTube at least, the videos that you're posting. It sounds like you have that confidence to, showcase yourself and showcase your art.
Well, actually, is a little bit different. My background is far away from video making, content creation, or whatever you see from my videos. I have a background in sales mostly. I've been working in the United States for 5 years, 2 years in Canada, and in the last few years, I've been like vice president of sales for this big Italian company
Hmm.
selling woodworking machineries. So, like, what you see from my video is basically my passion. I always had learning from YouTubers how to make video, how to color grade, buying cameras for just for to have fun, in the weekend. But that's pretty much it. I had much more than I needed in the past and also today, hoping one day I could use my lens, my cameras, and whatever. But that's it basically. Now I'm just starting having fun. That's it.
That's so amazing. Oh my God. So you're like this VP of sales, you have this background in sales,
Yeah.
and you have your passion of like video making, content creation, color, and you're diving deep into that now.
Actually, I have a passion in emotions, more like than videos. And videos, colors, music, sounds, for me are belong. For me, those are emotions, and I like get emotional as much as I like uh, gives emotion to others. And with my videos, I'm trying to share my emotions. Sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot, but that's all right. As far as my videos let me feel emotional, they are all right. So that's my ultimate goal.
Dang. How'd you like get to that?
I mean, I've been doing what I didn't like for so many years. So one day I woke up and I said, I'm good at that. I'm good at sales. I'm good at selling machine. I'm good at managing people, but I don't like it. So the question is, if I am good and people recognize I'm good in something that I don't like, why am I not trying to do what I like? It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be restart from the beginning. It means having no money, having no salary, having nothing. But I'm pretty confident that if somebody follow his own passions, the art and so on, the result will come eventually. I have I can count how many people they're asking to edit my videos, to give me thumbnails. To I don't want them, but not because I think they are worse than me. Actually, the opposite. It's because my thumbnail, my videos, my way of editing, my sounds, it's like me. And I don't want to jeopardize who I am for getting more views or more money or sponsorship or whatever. If you notice, I have no sponsor in my videos. And I can share with you how many emails I'm receiving to sponsor my video, but I don't care. I mean, at least at this moment. I'm starting opening my mind a little bit because, as I mentioned before, I'm a student right now. I have a wife, I have a daughter, and sooner or later I have to pay my bills. So I need to figure out the right compromise to to keep the identity of my channel, but also making some money at the same time. But I want to make my own product in a way.
Cool. Wow. There's like so much there. And before we get like diving deep into it, I just want to like see what everyone is hoping to get out of the call and like tell me a little bit about yourselves. Because this is like an introduction sort of.
what do you want to know exactly about myself?
Just
Because
like, yeah, just a little bit about yourselves and what you want to get out of the call.
I mean, the reason why I'm in the call is because I'm a curious person. So I'm always open to look around. I'm always open to understand what people can. I mean, as much as I love knowing everything, I know so little about the world. So I'm very open to understand what am I missing. So when you send me this message, are you interested in? For me, it was like probably there is something new I can learn. Probably there is something I've never thought about, and that's the reason why I'm in this call. I don't know what can be the outcome, but it's worth a shot. So it's like a blind jump for me, something like that.
Awesome. Well, I'm stoked you're here and like you have such a background in sales, and I'm sure we can get somewhere with the call where we can figure out some sort of right compromise for creating content without having sponsors and without, sacrificing your creativity, right?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Benjamin, Benedict, do you want to get in?
Yeah, so I'm here. I think while I answered your call, I was quite inspired by your video. I think I'm just trying to figure out how to do what it is I want to do and exactly what it is. So I'm a bit all over
Mhm.
the place with it, to be honest. Overthinking it. There's definitely a confidence issue with cameras and things. So I'm a counselor and I work with men. I work in men's issues. And I think, I have things to say and things to offer. But yeah, I struggle with, I don't know, I guess formulating myself in a way and formulating what it is I want to do and what it looks like. Um, for me, there's 95% of the YouTube game which I'm just not interested in at all. I just, it's boring and laborious. It's not me, like you say, like thumbnails and algorithms and sponsorships and what, not that I have, I haven't even started yet, but all that kind of stuff. Like you're completely right, and that's what inspired me to join the call. But yeah, so I guess for me, I'm here just to maybe refine the mission. It's more personal at this stage for me. It's not so much logistical, maybe a bit of logistics, like how we're going to do this, but it's more like what, just kind of getting some feedback on what might be best for, especially because men's issues is such a hot topic at the moment. It's a minefield. So if I go in certain ways, I can be put in certain pigeonholes, and I'm very much in the middle of the path, like quite centered. So I guess it's just about finding my voice and finding the best way to move forward with it, I think.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to get clarity, finding your voice, gaining confidence, showing up on camera,
Yeah,
and like, starting and
yeah,
not getting stuck in overthinking.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Cool. And where are you guys from, by the way?
I'm in Wales, in the
Wales.
UK.
Okay, gotcha. And
Yeah.
Lauro?
Right now I'm in Rome, Italy.
Ah,
Gotcha. And how do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry. Is it Benedek?
Yes, yes, Benedek.
Nice.
Yeah, so hey guys, I'm Ben. I'm currently living in Bali. So yeah, it's currently midnight here. But I'm a video editor, and I mostly came to the call because I really loved Dominic's filmmaking skills. Like, camera looked so good that I'm like, I have to ask questions about that. Like, because I know zero about cameras, but I found it very really interesting. And I mean, just knowing more about YouTube in general, because I also have a small YouTube channel and like kind of like starting out and learning about that stuff. And yeah, best worked with like YouTubers in the business space, and now transitioning into having my own YouTube channel. So yeah,
Cool. It sounds like you have a background in video editing, freelancing for these business YouTubers, and now you want to transition to making your own stuff, right? Uh,
yeah,
you got interested in my like color grade, my filmmaking a little bit, and my lack of video editing because I really kept everything in one take, or I tried to at least. But yeah, it sounds like Benjamin, Benedek, you guys are just starting out, or you have like a small beginning and you want to like find your
I,
voice a little bit. And for Lauro, it sounds more of trying to find a right compromise without getting into sponsorships and, all this bullshit that'll help or that'll take away your creativity and burn you out. Right?
Yeah. Actually, at that specific moment, I'm not exactly looking for something. I'm more exploring what the world can offer. Okay. Because as I said before, there are billions of things I've never considered. And I'm open to listen everybody's voice. And you are one of them. And I'm glad that there are people reaching out to tell me something that probably I know, or probably I don't. I don't care. It's worth being there anyway.
Awesome. Like, I'm super eager and stoked, and I'm trying to be as open as possible as well. So I'm just seeing like what way we can guide the conversation. Um, and it sounds somewhere along the lines of trying to show up like authentically, show up yourself and not compromising your creativity and like finding your voice too. I think Lauro, in your recent posts, you were talking about how you were copying others, right?
Yes,
And how you had that art style and now you're kind of transitioning to your own stuff. And so I think in terms of the conversation, I think like finding your voice in a way might be the best route to go down on. Does that
absolutely, absolutely. On YouTube, I always had a clear vision about the person I want to. Oh, actually, not the person, but more like the content I want to. On Instagram, it's a different story because I always neglected the platform. I never spent so much time on it because my time, as everybody's time, is limited. I am a dad, I am a student, I am a content creator on YouTube. I'll try to make some content on Instagram, but in Instagram, I'm not a huge fan of short content. I like to tell story. I like the storytelling. I like people to hear the sound of I don't know, a pot wheel or like the fire flames and so on. In a short content, everything has to happen in such a short time that I mean, it's not my style. So what I did is I start listening what was making more sense on Instagram, finding your niche, check what others were doing, which kind of content was viral, where, and trying to do your own content, taking inspiration from them. But the more I was doing it and the more I was realizing I don't like it. It's like forcing myself to do something I don't like. So one day, actually, 2 or 3 days ago, I said, I don't give a shit about making a viral content because I came across this guy, Tom Nosky, that said, guys, gonna also and if you're lucky, 5, 6, 10 of them, they're gonna be good.
Wait, Lauro, you're cutting out a little bit. Oh no.
That is not gonna be 3 hours a day for editing, for color grading, for this, but is real yourself. Forget about your niche. Forget about what your followers want. Forget about it. Do what is you, what represents yourself. And this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm not even thinking anymore about tomorrow's posts. Every day I do something, and I'm going to make a video that is going to be maximum 1 hour among recording, editing, color grading, voiceover, and whatever. And it's going to be like this. It's going to be perfect. No, it's going to be so bad compared to the level of perfection I typically have in my YouTube. Do I care? Not at all. And I am enjoying it so much in the last few days. So I'm going to do that. On YouTube is a different story. On YouTube, I love feeling the video before even start scripting the video. I'm not scripting all my videos, but some of them I do like being, in an environment that inspires me creativity. So I typically go in the place where I was born and raised, all around the area, and I start scripting it in a bar, enjoying a coffee. Then I move, to a place where I can have a glass of beer or a prosecco. I'm start getting drunk a little bit, but doesn't matter. If the inspiration goes along, that's all right. And by the end of the day, most of the time, I finish the whole script. The next day, I review the script and I make some editing. And then maybe I choose the location and so on. So on, in YouTube is different. The video I like the most is the one that got less view. Is the one while I made a pot with fire. Do I care? No, because I enjoy the video from the beginning all the way to the end, and it's the video I'm most proud of. And every time I watch this video, even if I made it, I want to watch it till the end. And this is the ultimate goal I have. I know I talk too much.
Damn, no, that was amazing. That reminds me of like when I was first making YouTube videos and I had these gaming videos and it was just raw, like my favorite song at the time, and just feeling that and then editing to the cut and just putting my favorite gameplay and the best gameplay that I could. And just looking back at that now, it's like I laugh, but at the same time, it's those feelings of like, oh
Yes.
my God, like I did this. And there was a time where I was just like trying to, make it on YouTube, like do the algorithm and like trying to make those, poppy thumbnails, titles, and, trying to like make it as fast as possible for these people to watch. And then now there was like, or not now, but like it's been a year now, since I've been like trying to connect back to that past of myself of like, damn, what state was I in when I was like making those videos of gaming and just hanging out and playing and, having fun. And now I'm like way more connected to editing and like the creative process. Whereas before, I was just like trying to copy every YouTuber, watching all of those videos on how to, get viral. And it's like, oh, that's so much noise. And it like sucks because everyone watches those. And it's like, you don't need to watch those.
No, you don't want to burn out before even starting. You want to do something that you enjoy doing before the very exact moment that you are doing what YouTube or what somebody else is telling you to do. You lose your freedom, and it's like going back to work for somebody else. You want to work for yourself because you want to decide what you want to do today. You want to decide which kind of content, you want to decide the color, the music, the piece. And if they are wrong for the most professional video editors, the film director or whatever, that's all right. As far as those videos represent who you are, they are spot on. And the views will come eventually. And if they don't, that's all right. I mean, we are not doing this for getting views, for getting just to find our way. That's what I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. Does anyone have any input on that?
Yeah, I agree.
I
Oh, sorry, go on. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I agree with it like too much. Like I kind of like a week ago, I got back into content and I wanted to create content that like will perform well and like also like trying to find the right type of content that I want to create. But I practically just focused on what will perform well and didn't really try to be something that's authentic to me. And what I found is like 2 weeks later, I just like literally felt burnt out and I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And another thing that's I think interesting is like sometimes I believe it's not just that authentic content means that there is no editing. Like for me personally, like sometimes authenticity means that like it's like the most pure expression of like what I want to convey with that video. And sometimes that means like I'm using a certain type of music or a certain type of editing, and that's how it conveys the best thing. So it's like I kind of like had this shift when like maybe authenticity means the most authentic expression and not like just uncut videos. And and focusing less on like just like virality. So yeah.
Damn, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. It's like you don't want to be sacrificing yourself and your creativity when you're making the edit. I think that's kind of what you found, right? You don't want to just like if it's not you being like or what I wanted to say is when you're editing, you have all these expertise in video editing. So of course, like when you're doing the creative process, include your creativity in that process. It's not like in order to get your most pure expression, it sounds like Benedict, you're going into not just doing one cut, right? You're doing your own process. And that's beautiful and I love it.
Yeah, for me, it's yeah, I'm interested in this idea of, what do I really enjoy? And for me, it's well, it's counseling. So it's when I'm talking to people one to one, um, and it's trying to capture that. Everything else I'm not interested in. I've tried the talking head, do a script and um, do an educational video on a topic or a psychological topic or something. Um, and I watch it back and I said, it's okay, but it's not, doesn't feel like I'm doing this. It's because that's what's done, right? And what I'd like to do is just, well, get volunteers to capture some live counseling. And that's going to be hard, I think, because if you to ask me, where are you most yourself? I'm most myself in that flow moment with a client, right? And how do you, I mean, there's the healthy gamer. I watched a couple of his videos recently, off the back of one of your videos. Really, really good stuff. And it's something similar to that, but there's a lot of stuff that goes with it, which I'm not interested in. I mean, that's all I want to do. All I want to do is work, really. And I want to, and there's so much that goes on in those conversations, which is of value and where I'm truly myself and I'm in a creative flow, definitely. Just speaking intuitively and chewing on things with other guys. And it's great. But I don't know how to get it onto, get it into the world. There's obviously consent, consent for recording, which, we spoke about this briefly. It's quite important to me. I think, being clear about consent and stuff and finding people who would be willing to even do that. So I'd have to like make some videos, I guess, to draw in some people first and then create like a community and then ask if anybody wants to volunteer. So there's quite a lot that goes with it. And um yeah, I'm not quite sure how to get there. But I think I've pulling back to Benedict and Lauro's point about just doing what you want to do, what I want to do, it feels like quite far off. It feels frustratingly distant, I think, because I need
Mm.
people to work with and who are happy to maybe post the stuff online, post the conversation online. I think that might be quite difficult to find. Um,
Yeah.
I was
It's
thinking also like, sorry, I was thinking also like some sort of call-in thing. I've seen a few of those which might work. I quite like the idea of that little call-in setup. But I guess it's the before that it's the marketing, isn't it? And the publicizing, which I'm awful at. I just have no interest in it. So yeah,
yeah. Sounds like you have a hate for marketing. And at the same time, when you get into that flow moment, it's when you're talking in dialogue, right?
yeah,
It's so hard to convey any type of like emotion, any type of, experience through like video. Sure, information can get across, but,
yeah.
understanding is way harder.
Yeah,
And
because yeah, I could sit there and talk all day about psychological topics on YouTube, but it'd be boring. Where the magic is watching two people connect and learn things. So yeah, and when I'm doing it, I think, oh wow, this needs to be marketed, but like you say, I hate the marketing. I'm not totally sure why. Um,
well, it's like superficial. It's like
yeah,
hard to make it aligned, or it's simple, but it's very challenging to get to that simple state, if that
mm,
helps at all.
mm,
Anyways, like the flow state and the creativity happens in the dialogue, right? And in order to capture that, you need someone else to like, volunteer for that
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it sounds like you're trying to find those people and connect on that level instead of,
yeah,
putting out content and trying to, bring on attention, where it's so much harder because you're talking to a camera, of course. Like it's there's
mm,
such a divide when I'm staring at a camera versus when I'm staring at like a person in person, and also compared to like this, for example, when I'm talking to you guys on camera. So yeah, it's definitely troublesome.
Mm. I mean, maybe I just need to put something out just so people see, and then in like the description, or I mentioned in the video, you know, if you want to maybe just set up a little community or something, a Telegram group where people who are interested can come and talk, and then there you can say, you know, if you're interested in volunteering for, you know, I don't know what, I'd be interested to hear some ideas around how I could get that moving, I think. Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Have you posted anything yet about that?
No, I haven't posted anything. I mean, yeah.
Have you seen anybody on YouTube doing something that you would like to do, something similar or anything related to this topic?
Yeah, a good analog is that Healthy Gamer guy. I've been watching him recently. I don't know if you know Healthy Gamer. He talks to gamer guys by the looks of it. I don't know too much about it. Um, and it looks great. I mean, it's a bit more what's the word? Scientific than me. So I guess I'm a bit more sort of spiritual, Jungian, that kind of thing. But he's also really confident. He has a confidence which I don't have. And he obviously has funding for other people to do the marketing, right? And all the editing and his videos and stuff. But I did find his work inspiring actually. When I watched him talk to a few people, I thought, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I feel I need to, when I'm in a session, I'm like, this needs to be publicized. Yeah, he's doing that.
Sometimes, having the right publicity can come also from giving your service free of charge. Like, I'm giving you this in exchange. I don't want money. I'd like just to publish this video in my channel. Or sometimes, but the point that I see from my side is people don't know what they want until you show them. And most of the times, we are the people. Until we don't try to do something, we will never know if it's good or it's bad and what we have to change. So my thing is like, you post one video and you hate it so much that you are ashamed about it. But now you know that this is not the video that you want to publish. You want to change the format, you want to change the mode, you want to change everything. But until you don't do it, you will never know, because
Yeah.
I spend so much time watching others that I could use, to make my own videos that I regret. Now I'm here 1 year later that I could have published 10 videos more. I could have doubled the subscriber or whatever, whatever is important, but I didn't. I was watching and none of them has been helpful to make my own content, because my content is my content that I'm making because I'm learning videos after videos. So my advice, take it with a grain of salt, of course, is like, of course, you want to know what others in your field they do, who have an idea. And then you launch yourself, you throw yourself, in the dark, and see what's going on. Worst case scenario, you're going to have 2 views, 3, because we are 3 in this call, 4 actually. Maybe it can be 100, maybe it can be 1,000, maybe it can be 0, but who cares? It's much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, until we
True.
try, we don't know. Maybe you are, opening the, how do you say, Pandora pot? I don't know the term, but it's like, we don't know if what we like is interesting or not. And you mentioned also something about your personality, because you don't see yourself as confident as this gentleman that you are watching video from. But the beauty of ourself is like, everybody has his own personality, and maybe the people that are following you because he's confident, they're not gonna following you. But also the other way around, people that are gonna follow you one day, they're not gonna follow him because they probably is gonna look too confident and want something more connected in the spiritual side or whatever. So it's you always see, the double face of the coin.
Yeah, I appreciate that insight. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Regardless of who I am, how I feel about myself, there'll be people out there who resonate with me, I guess. Yeah.
There is something like, when I was a kid, and I was going dancing or whatever, there was always a girl over there that I liked. So the question was, am I going there asking for, going out one day or not? So the option are two. I go there and I receive a no, or I don't go at all and it's already a no. So I'm not even giving the chance to receive a no. If I go
Yeah.
there, I have 50-50. If I don't go, it's 100% no.
I think one of the problems I have is I can't take the first step until I know what 10 steps down the line is going to be. And that's a real crippler. I can't take a step, look around and go, oh, okay, let's step there, and then look around and go, let's step there. I really struggle with that. I need to know, well, in 1 year's time it's going to be that it's going to look like this. And that I think that cripples everything. So like you say, do a video might be might be crap, who cares? But you're gonna learn from it and see where it goes. Yeah. Yeah. If I understood you correctly, yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Mm.
One day I watch a Mr. Beast video. Well, actually, it was an interview. I don't care so much about Mr. Beast, but sometimes during the interview, he's also smart, learning from those, that they are doing business, with this platform. And he said, start doing videos. Your first video is going to be like shit because you think that you know what you're doing, but you don't. You're
Yeah.
going to watch your videos again and again, and you're going to be ashamed about what you're doing. But we're going to talk after the video number 100, because after 100 video, maybe you start understanding how good things, are made of. But before that, I mean, I am, I've been lucky. I've been an exception. My second video was, reach more people than I thought. But it was just a coincidence. It was the right moment, the right video, and whatever. But this is not, how things works. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's perfectionism, isn't it, that holds us back. Can't
Yeah,
just
for sure.
yeah. Can't just put
Yeah.
out something, and just see how it goes. I've definitely got that perfectionist bug badly, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like two things I want to add to that. Um, Putting yourself out there and showing the work, right? And just, getting away from this has to be perfect and like posting online. That's beautiful, right? But we want to make sure we're sequencing things correctly. If you have, if you get in the flow of things when you're talking with people on dialogue, I think it's best to try and get in like DMs and contacts with people that you already know and see if like people are interested in like you doing like this free um like call with them and just seeing if you guys can dive deeper into men's issues, philosophy, Jungian theory. Like that's so exciting, right? And that's you. And I'd be curious to know like what is your YouTube search history and just those interests and trying to align with conversations that you had with that you will have with people and like those kind of topics because that's when you'll be lit up, right? That's when you're gonna be most interested in those conversations and want to help those people. And getting that like recorded and just posting that online, of course having the consent of the other person, showing that is like you're showing the work. And from that, you can start building like more and more conversations and like eventually like doing your own thing and, being able to monetize that in the future. But just starting off like Dr. K, like you saw like previous videos of that. And I watched him back in like 2019 when I lost my esports career pretty much. My team like got disbanded because we didn't qualify and I was like deep in the trenches. I was dark moments of my life, and I was like binge watching YouTube videos, and I stumbled across Dr. K's video, and I started watching these interviews, and it was all dialogue with these gamers, and I started to put myself in their shoes, and it was so beautiful because I hadn't cried for so long, and watching these videos, like I was able to finally cry after like at least 8 years of like not crying. And I remember this vividly when I was watching this movie, Fury. It was like a World War II movie, and there was a tank squadron, and there was this new kid that comes and joins the tank squadron. But at the end of the movie, they all die except the kid. And I felt like that kid because when I joined that team on my esports career, the team was already established. So I was kind of like the key piece. And we did so well up until like the finals, and we just didn't qualify and we lost that. And I felt like I lost my family, and I was able to like finally let it all out and cry. And from that grieving process, it was like the perfectionism in me just started to like shed away. And that process helped me so much to try and, get out of this perfectionistic and just embracing like what life has to give you and just going with it and trying to do your best and showing up in the way you can.
Yeah, I need to show up, definitely. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think like you say, you need to find something that lights you up. Um, it's not group work. I know that. I mean, that might come down the line. I think for many therapists, moving into doing group work takes a little bit of time. I've sort of flagged behind on that a bit. But I know, regardless of anything really, I know my heart tells me that it's that one-to-one um, sort of union of psyches. When it gets real good. Um, yeah, that's what I need to try and create. So I think if we are just going off the back of just doing what you enjoy the most, I think I need to just find some volunteers somehow, and maybe just one or two, and just that I have given consent to put it online. Um, just put them up, see what happens, and then maybe something in the description that says if anybody else wants to get involved, here's my number or whatever, and just yeah, go that way. And then I think maybe when that's done, I might feel a bit more confident just to do like chatty camera stuff, me and the camera, maybe. But I definitely need to get something fulfilled, which is what I want to do, instead of flapping around with all of these other things that I kind of want to do and I'm not really that interested in. I need to get it done somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like you have a good plan. Get
Mm,
like a few or one volunteer,
mm.
show that and like post it, and yeah, go from there. Like you can definitely start with group or just do one-on-ones, see what you're comfortable with. How many years of experience have you been like counseling and doing
Uh,
this type of work?
I've been counseling for about 6 years now, but I've been working in mental health for over 10 years, 11, 10, 11 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
It's
cool.
been a long old road. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last 6 years I worked with, the first 4 or 5 years I worked with in a child and adolescent psychiatric hospital, which was hardcore, and I was training alongside that. And then when I finished my training, I left and started up a private practice. I've been doing that for 6 years now, and it's great. I work for myself. I work from home. It's a bit isolating, I have to
Hmm.
say. It's a bit lonely. I don't know many other counselors. I don't know many other counselors who do men's work or study like Jungian psychology. So I feel like I do feel like a bit of an outsider. Maybe I need to connect more with people who are in my area, of practice, maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of experience there. Um, so I know it's of yeah, I'm getting used to saying that I have value. Yeah. So
Yeah, you do. Everyone
mm,
here has inherent value,
yeah.
regardless of their performance, regardless of their, skills or whatever number they see on the subscriber number or view count or whatever. Everyone has inherent value. And I want to help people like share that depth and divinity. And so I'm so stoked you're here because I hope like I can help. And with these 6 to 12 years. Like, for example, Dr. K, he's like a mental health, Harvard medical trained psychiatrist, and he grew up gaming, right? And so the karmic seeds kind of aligned into one day he posted this AMA on Reddit, and he asks like gamers like what the problems are they're having and what kind of, feedback is happening. And he gets so many responses, and it's like, whoa, like people are having so many issues. Like, how can I help? And the best way he found is streaming on Twitch and getting people on these one-on-one calls. And from there, he like developed this whole brand and business of like helping a whole bunch of people. And so, you're just at the beginning of this, and at the same time, you're at the great foundation because you have these 6 years of like professional work and like 12 years in general of mental health. And yeah, I'm super excited that you're here, and I understand that it can be really lonely. And yeah, we're here for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's pretty lonely out in rural Wales. There's nothing around here. But yeah, I could say more, but I'm conscious of taking up a bit too much of the space. I'm wondering if anybody else wants to speak.
No, you're good. Like, I'm we're hanging out here just chilling. And yeah. Do you have any more questions, or does anyone else want to go deeper into what they want to talk about? Or I'm just super eager to like get to know you guys and like get to know what sort of stuff you guys are working on.
I mean, just to the previous conversation, Benjamin, like you can just like, I don't know if you know anyone like online in groups, which groups you are part of, like maybe communities with like-minded people. It's like probably pretty easy to find the first prospects or like online friends or just real life friends who have similar interest. I think
Yeah.
that's probably like warm outreach would be probably the easiest. And it's like, yeah, I think, if you start off from like, recording this and then just putting like, let's say like a Calendly link in the description where people could like schedule a call, and then they schedule
Yeah.
the call. And so you have even more material in the future.
Yeah.
So then you create this flywheel effect with it. And
Mm. Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Reach
so
out
yeah,
to my
that could
communities.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get the ball rolling by connecting with my type of communities and just get something up. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So do you help people with like mental health, or what exactly is the problem you help people solve?
What sort of problems do I work with? Do you
Yes.
know? Yeah. So, well, half my work is private, and I just work with men. My website's marketed towards men's issues. All sorts of issues. They definitely do collate into certain definite areas that I'm sure us all as men are aware of. And the other half of my work is I'm contracted with the NHS, so I work with both men and women, and there's all sorts. Like, you never know what the calls are going to be, really. Um, so I do like the idea of a call-in thing. I'm not sure why. Something about a radio show, which appeals to me for some reason. I think maybe I've seen a lot of clips and of call-in shows, certain YouTubers, and there's a nice flow to it. I like there's like 20 minute chat with someone, listen to their issue. I definitely want to avoid being an agony aunt for sure. So I think I would need something long. Say, you call in, it's going to be 40 minutes. We'll try and do something. Um, Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, as we talk, I keep coming back to this point. So it's obviously it, isn't it? It's obviously getting talking to people one to one, getting them to call in, and then just put something up. Try and find some people. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like,
No,
you're gonna feel that this like aching need for it to be like everything on point, but like
yeah,
it doesn't have to be. And like what ends up happening is when you get on these conversations, of course you want to get on conversations where there's gratitude on both sides, So right now, I would oppose to trying to do these call-ins because there's less gratitude with these like quick call-ins, 20 minutes. If
Yeah.
you're like, messaging these people and you already have these connections, maybe people you already know in your life, then, getting in those conversations
Yeah.
for a longer period of time, I'm sure
Well, I
will
think
lead to.
even if it is a call in, I think I would market it as like, look, this is a free session. This will be recorded and for content, but it's essentially a free session. We'll have like 40, 50 minutes or something. I think, not moving away from that. I think if it's too short, you become an agony aunt, and that's the last thing. That's the last thing I want. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I just don't want to attract complexity right now. And the
Okay.
complexity would be to set up the call-in session, set up
Yeah.
marketing to
Yeah.
try and get people to like, hey, I'm doing this
Yeah.
call-in. Like,
Yeah.
it's so backwards. And I think
I see. Yeah.
sequencing it correctly by first getting on conversations. I know like it's gonna suck, but once you get in that flow state of, actual dialogue instead of, DMing people, I'm sure you're able to like um
Mm.
get to that state and record it and then show that work and then later on the line you could start doing call-ins.
Yeah, I think I'd feel a lot better, yeah, if I just had a good conversation with someone who was willing to post it and then it's up online. I think I'd feel a lot better. I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what we're doing. Right? Yes,
Cool.
you know,
Cool.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Sometimes we spend so much time in the areas where we are not confident in them, and we forget where the area where we are really good. Like, take example of myself. I'm making video in English, and as you can tell, English is not my first language, and it's tough. It's tough for me. I like speaking English. I've been in the United States for years, but it's not my language. I cannot express myself the way I want. It's tough, especially I did some videos with A-roll. So I'm looking at the cameras, I look at this rounded lens in front of me, and I have to express concepts that I struggled even to pronounce in English. So my voice, the tone of my voice, the vibes, they're not my vibes. This is not the message I want to convey. It's tough. It's really tough for me. I struggle a lot for what to talk. So it's not because there is a camera and feels already awkward, but it's mostly because it's not my language. But I made a choice. I said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be so complicated. But my goal was to reach as many people as possible. And if speaking in English is the key, I will. I will struggle. It's going to be hard. That's all right. But it's making my life so complicated. I can tell you that. It's not easy at all. Plus, my videos are about interior design. I'm not an interior designer. Not at all. I started studying interior design for my very first time 1 year ago. But before that, no experience. No experience in home renovation, home decor, 3D modeling, nothing. So today I'm making video in English, which is not my language, about a topic I'm familiar about like this. But this is what makes me happy, because I love interior design and I love speaking in English. It's hard, it's tough, it's gonna get better, of course, but today is not easy. And when, especially you, Benjamin, because you are English is your first language, you have a huge advantage, because when you talk, you are yourself. You don't have to think about the words you are saying. You don't have to think about the grammar, the tone, your personality. Is yourself talking. There is a camera, but when you're talking with a person, you're not looking at the camera. It's like a podcast. You're looking to your guest. So after a couple of sentences, you're gonna probably you can also forget about the camera that is recording you, because you are so focusing in talking with your clients in that case that the cameras is going to disappear. Plus, it's a job you're already very, very good at. So you know what you're talking about. So all of this to say what? To say sometimes we create problems, we find the only problems that they don't exist, and we forget about how good we are and how easy could be the same things done by us rather than done by somebody. Think about it, Benjamin. Think about somebody in your shoes that came from, I don't know, Colombia, that the first language is Spanish, but you want to do a channel in English, and he's doing this job for 6 months. You don't know what he's talking about, and plus his English is not so good. So sometimes, people cannot understand what he's saying. So this is a huge advantage that you have. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that what you're capable of goes beyond what you think about yourself. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate what you're saying, and I do empathize with it as much as I'm able to. I had a friend once who wasn't from England, and after we had a couple of beers, he was almost, in tears, saying to me, "You don't know who I am," because he's not talking in his native, he can't talk in his native language to me. I mean, I felt like I did, we were friends, but he's like, people don't know who I am when I speak. I'm not coming through. Like, who I am is not here, or there's something in the middle. So I do understand what you mean. I think when it comes to your issue, this feeling you're having around not coming through properly because of the speech. I mean, I'm not totally sure what to say other than I don't think I've ever clicked off a video because someone was speaking with an accent. I don't, if the title is, oh, I want to know about this, and the video's fairly decent, I'm not even that bothered. I watch it. I mean, I've seen, when I was working on my car, I was watching all sorts of stuff from um, um, Eastern European chaps with the knowledge of the car I needed to know about, right? So, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily, maybe I totally understand what you're feeling, but I think maybe there's an overthinking about that. Maybe it's just not my experience that an accent makes any difference to me when I watch a video. So I don't know if that's helpful.
No, for me is a problem, but at the same time, it's not a problem, because for me, I have a sort of mindset that for me it's not a problem. It's like an opportunity, to figure something out to make it better. When I say it's a problem, what I mean is, if I want to express a concept, it's going to take me 5 minutes of try, of takes, or whatever. It would have been different if I could speak Italian, because in Italian I can say something that comes out of my mouth in seconds. So I could save so much more time that you cannot even imagine. But I don't care, because Italian is my comfort zone, and I I love staying outside my comfort zone so much that I can't describe. And English is outside my comfort zone, which is amazing.
Would it be worth doing both? I don't know how YouTube works. Is there a YouTube.it? Would it be worth
Yes,
would
there
it be worth
is.
focusing on or doing an English one and an Italian one or something? I don't know.
No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested because, in Italian, probably my personality would be a little bit different. But it's not even about the perception of the people. It's mostly because I am who I am, and I've chosen to speak English. So this is who you're gonna see. This is if you like me, that's perfect. If you don't, you are more than welcome to change and to go see something else. I'm not here to convince anybody to watch my stuff or to subscribe, to click in the like button. As far as I can convey my message and my feelings and my emotions, that's everything I want. And of course, one day I would like, to make a live with that. But the more I spent on YouTube, the more time I spent on YouTube, the more I realize that what I thought at the beginning about making money is changing, is evolving, and there are multiple ways, to make a living with your own product without selling your channel to third-party companies, to third-party people that they are offering peanuts to promote, I don't know, a bicycle. I have so many people reaching out to promote cigars, I mean, I don't even know why they ask. Or Temu, they reached out, to sponsor the website, offering $200 of product for a 4 minutes video. But it's unbelievable. But they do now. But it's, at the same time, having company reaching out to you, it's also a sign that you're doing a decent job. Okay. In the next videos, I have companies that I'm going to introduce in a 60-second segment in my video, but because they send me a product that I'm using for real. They send me a chair, an office chair that is $300 reselling values, and they're sending me a dog bar for my computer, which is which is related to my content, and they are paying me a little bit of what I need to pay the minimum bills, but this is not the way to go. This is sponsorship. I don't see myself in having a channel to sponsor NordVPN or Wix.com or stuff like that, because they're not mine. And I don't want to work for somebody else. We have so many products we can sell ourselves. In your case, for example, Benjamin, you can be a consultant. You can sell your time. In your case, Benedek, you can sell your skill, your editing skill to somebody else. You can sell lots digital products. You can sell a bunch of stuff, and you cannot even imagine how much money you can make. I mean, it's not about money. For me, I'm talking about money, but money for me are not important. For me, as soon as I get enough money to make a decent life, $2,000, $3,000 a month, that's more than enough. That's all right. Everything else has to be happy. Okay. So as soon as you reach this goal, everything more, it's to reinvest in our passion or something like that. And we cannot even think, you cannot even imagine how much money we can make selling who we are. For example, there is this concept now. You make a very cheap product, because just being a consultant means that you're asking for, I don't know which is your rate, Benjamin, but typically, when they were asking me to make, some sort of consultant time, they were paying me $400, $500 an hour in the business of the machineries. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more, but even if it's half or a fraction of it, every day we have 8 hours. So if you can fulfill, half of a day, with this kind of being a consultant, it's already a big amount of money. But even if we think smaller, we sell a lot. Okay, a color grading package, in your case, Benedek, is like, I don't know, $20. And then we need to start thinking, how many people I can convert from my profile? 1%. So if I have 1,000 people, probably can sell 10 a month. 10 times 20 is 200. If I want to make 2,000, I need to have 20,000 followers. You start making this count, but you sell your own product. 20,000 people to make $2,000 a month is not unreasonable. I mean, we are not talking about 2 million followers, 3 million followers, and you work hard to make 20,000 followers. How? Doing what you love, doing what you do every day. I mean, this is my point of view. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Maybe it's totally wrong. I'm just sharing what I feel. That's it. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm so excited to go into this, because it's like trying to combine artistry and your expertise and trying to, make a business out of it and trying to pay the bills, right? And yeah, there's so many ways of making products and, selling your own stuff instead of, getting sponsorships or ad revenue. going down that route, of course, you'd be sacrificing a lot of things going that way. And it sounds like, Lauro, you understand that. And at the same time, is that correct so far?
Yes.
Okay. And at the same time, you talked about consulting and how you can like sell yourself for, $500 an hour, or well, you did that in the past, of course, and you could do that now with your expertise. I'm a little bit hesitant on that because I think you're selling yourself short. And at the same time, I think if you're curious enough and you're open enough, there's a better way to sell yourself and to go deeper into this art.
Absolutely. I'm not trist. I'm not myself, at least. I'm not interested at all in make any kind of consultant time or whatever, because it belongs, first of all, because it belongs to my past life. So I'm not interested in talking about woodworking machineries or whatever, even if it can pay easily my bills, because I put a line and these belong to the past, and today's Lauro is focused 100% of this. So I'd rather, ask money to my dad, if I'm I'm running out of money before the end of the month. But I must be focused in my goal. And even before starting my channel, um, my channel is like a way to share who I am, not to share how good I am. Because if you watch my video, you can think, oh, look at this guy. I love his way of furnishing or renovating apartment. But another person, as respectable as you, can say, this apartment, this studio look like shit. I would never call this guy to renovate my place. And both of them are totally respectable.
Oh, we lost him. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's a
Yeah,
shame.
Okay.
just he
Dang.
cut
I
out.
just wrote down something he said, which was really good.
Yeah.
Which was show who I am, not how good I am.
Mm.
That really, yeah,
Yeah.
that spoke to that whole perfectionist thing, I think. Mm. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, because it's like that mirror effect. If you try to show your best self, your perfect self, then you're going to attract those people who are also trying to do that or trying to showcase themselves. And then when you get on calls with them, then there's so many layers you have to go through until you finally get to them.
Yeah, that's
Until
interesting. Yeah.
until you get into that flow state before you're going to be, grueling through these conversations.
Mm.
And
You're saying, yeah, that authenticity attracts authenticity, right?
right, yeah, in a way, like divinity,
Yeah.
like that connection connects to other people's divinity. And it's
Yeah.
like that. Hold up, let me get in here. Yeah. It's like that. It's like where the magic happens, right? Because you can get into that flow state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
Can you hear me,
He's
guys?
back. Yeah, you're back.
I might just run and make a coffee. I won't be a minute.
No worries.
When I'm saying something stupid, my connection goes away and I get to reconnect.
No worries, no worries. You're talking about like sales, how you don't want to repeat like selling your,
Yeah,
woodworking business.
yeah, it's mostly like um, I don't want to do again what I was doing before, and I don't want to make videos to be um, to be accepted or understood by everybody. I want to make videos to let the people know who I am and being, trustworthy in case they want to believe in me in the future. Buying a $10 product, digital product, hire me, as interior designer, or invest in me as a teacher to teach them how to become an interior designer. Today, I'm spending 19,000 euros a year to pay the tuitions and fee of my school, my interior design school. So it's gonna be without all the expenses, gas and whatever. So otherwise it's 20,000 plus a year. So at the end of the 3 years, it's gonna be 60 plus. And what am I learning? A lot. Does it worth, the investment? Absolutely not. But I want to learn as much as I can to give the possibility. And there are so many talented people, they cannot afford a school like this. They have no possibility. They are on the other side of the world. They cannot travel all the way to Italy. In the country where they are born and raised, they don't have this level of education. And online, there's no complete interior design courses. There are 3D modeling, real-time rendering, but just here and there. So before starting this channel I want to be that person. One day I want to make a course that is going to be, I don't know, $500, $1,000, 2,000. I don't know. I have no idea because I still have to start doing this. But I don't want to be this person showing up out of the blue. Say, hey guys, my name is Lauro. I'm an interior designer and this is my course. Who is this guy? Where this guy come from? Can I trust this guy? Research, Lauro Dominici. Lauro Dominici is like a sales manager in Canada. So what does it mean? Is it a scam? No, this is not my job. First, I will show you who I am. You like me? Great. You don't? That's all right. If you don't like me, you're not going to subscribe. You're not going to leave a like. That's perfect, totally fine. But one day, when I will consider myself trained enough, I will make my own product, my own course, and I will present this course to the people that they believe I can be a good teacher. So there is a thought behind the channel, and it's like when you said that being a consultant is something not for the long run. You're totally fine. And what I'm doing now is thinking in the long run. I'm not making money now because I don't want to jeopardize my job. Because if I'm giving up today to who I am, I won't be trustworthy in 3 years. I would be considered the guy that promotes, NordVPN or this or that, and for what? For 10 grand a year? But that's pointless. I mean, if you are good and if you think about numbers, like you have 1,000 subscribers on Instagram, conversion rate, you figure out a way to collect 20% of the email address from your followers, which is already a good achievement. 25% means that you have 250 people that they have been willing to give the email address. And then at the right moment, you send, you share that you are launching this course, and the course is $500. You send to 25% of your people, 1,000, from the social medias, only on Instagram. And if you're lucky, I mean, the average is 1% of conversion if the followers are real followers. So 1% means that is 1% of 1,000 is 10. 10 times 500 per course in one shot with 1,000 followers, 5,000 euros. Gross, of course. But if you think about 10,000 people following you, which is totally, I mean, is far away from being impossible, can be 50,000 only at the launch. If you have 100,000, can be 500. I mean, the game here is like, we need to know where we want to go before even starting something. We are not launching a YouTube channel, an Instagram account, only because we want to be in front of a camera or we want to be recognized when we go in a coffee shop or having somebody, hey, can you sign my hat? Oh, that's good. That's nice. But that's not the goal. The goal is we want to make a living with this. And we need to think at the step that comes down the road before even arriving at that point. Because if we burn the steps or if we take if we make the wrong decision too early because we are eager to make money too soon, then we jeopardize our future. That's what I believe.
Yeah, you're cashing out on your audience's trust
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
there's so much there.
When I was
Oh, go ahead, Benedict.
maybe I cut out for a second. Yeah, so when I was working with like some of these like really big business YouTubers, one of the metric that we were measuring is goodwill, which is practically like where are you standing with your audience. So like a goodwill practically means that they really trust you, they are ready to buy, and bad goodwill would mean that like you just promote it in every video and they wouldn't purchase. So it's like, for example, I don't know if you guys and it's like the bigger the creator, the more serious they treat this metric. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alex Hormozy. Yeah, so like Alex Hormozy lately said that he invested into school, and he's like promoting school everywhere. But before it, he said that like he like doesn't have anything to sell and stuff. And he said that he made his biggest investment into school, and because of a few people I know, like what I heard is like he actually didn't invest it into school in that regards of like monetary. The biggest investment was that he made the choice to promote school and to finally stop cashing in on the audience. So, and he decided to do it like 3 to 4 years later after he started his business. So it's really is a big metric, and like I think probably that's why most like educational content creators are like looked down upon, because they just try to cash in too early on the audience and they don't provide enough value, or they at least not selling in the back end and they selling too much in the front end.
Yeah, that's so beautifully put. Like, I didn't even know that the metric of goodwill was so important for these bigger creators, where it's like if you have a lot of goodwill, then people are ready to buy, right? And Lauro, you're kind of building that, right? And if you don't have that goodwill, then people wouldn't buy. And at the same time, Lauro, when we're going into what you're doing, the thing with like building courses and charging them at like 500, 1,000, 2,000, there isn't much gratitude there. And what you'll see is people will start to, buy those courses. Sure, like you might actually make a whole bunch of money, but when you end up in those like groups of people who have bought your course, it's going to be people who are just trying to get those quick wins, trying to basically repeat how you got that success, right? How the heck did this guy get from 0 to 10K and like have build this amazing goodwill and build this amazing quality content as like a YouTuber and interior designer and this background in sales? Like, oh my God, I want to be this guy, right? And I want it as fast as possible. And charging at that low price, it's going to attract those people because they want that quick win. They're not going to be on that same level of gratitude where if you were to charge a way higher, less complex situation.
It's totally correct what you said. I approach the same topic in a much simpler way. Um, I, I've not been lucky in my life in finding a mentor, finding somebody walk me through life, teaching me stuff, or building the person who I am. I always had to fight um, a lot to learn myself. Took me 2 times more than how much would have taken me with somebody else. I've never had somebody I could call mentor. when I'm doing this, when I'm doing my videos, when I will be making my course, I am thinking mainly I want to be the person I never had in my life. I would like to, my target audience is a curious person that is looking to change the world and is looking for inspiration, motivation, and somebody to trust to learn something for real. Because it's exactly what I was looking for when I was a kid. I was looking for this guy. So I like to think to go back to the past, finding this little Lauro looking around and say, hey, kid, come with me. I have something for you. And all my content and everything I'm making, I made, and I will be making, it will be for this young Lauro. So this is my ultimate goal. I wanna I wanna make money with it because at the end of the month I cannot pay my bills and my rent with emotion. My landlord, is not gonna be so happy, to receive an envelope with emotions, to pay it. I need to make a certain amount of money, but the rest is for what you said, what you mentioned, Dominic, is community. I bought so many courses, but the thing that I enjoy the most probably is the community beside the course. There is this Medavella course, to make a YouTube channel, and the community is amazing inside. I met so many people here in Rome that belong to the same community I hang out with, drinking beers, talking about YouTube and stuff. Because I am this person. If somebody asks, I can have 10,000 subscriber, 100,000 or a million. I will always be answering your DMs or your messages. Check out my videos with 2,000 comments, and I answer every single them in a matter of hours, not days, hours. Because the people that they are there for me, they must be in the very first place. And so it's sometimes it's easier than we think. If we do it for a noble cause, it's gives you even more pump, more energy, more a lot. Sometimes I have to motivate myself every day because it's not easy when you have so limited time and you want to do everything. But this is the life that we've chosen, and there's no excuses. That's it. Otherwise, I talk all the time.
When I was 14, like this really resonates with me because when I was 14, like my parents split, and that process, I was turning from a boy to a man. And in that process, I didn't have a mentor to look up to. I didn't really have a father figure to be like a guiding light for me to follow. And so I had to like figure it out on my own, like go on my own path. And it was painful and challenging. And I wish there was someone who like, you know, was there right beside me, like inspiring me and believing in me. And like I totally resonate with like that feeling of like wanting to be that mentor for other people. And at the same time, you got to pay the bills when you're creating art, right? And you got to sell your something, your own product. If you're selling someone else's product, then that's even more misaligned. So you're closer than a lot of people in this space, especially on YouTube, selling BetterHelp, 30-second ad integrations, selling Temu products, selling, all these interior designers slash creators are, selling products, putting a whole bunch of links in their description. And it's kind of draining and soul sucking, and it takes away from the creative, and it takes away from being able to have the emotions in the beginning and then trying to convey those emotions via the video, right? And at the same time, I think when you're going about creating a product and you have so much expertise, right? It's not just like your expertise in woodworking. It's your ability to sell. It's your ability to be mentors for other people like you are right now for Benjamin and Benedict, and for me too, a little bit. And just being that inspiring, guiding light. And, having that person in your space is so vital, is so crucial to like succeeding. And I would like fray away from making a course and making so much complexity into all of it, and just getting on conversations with people and seeing what kind of problems they're having, and see if like you can actually bridge that gap between what kind of problems they're having. And I'm sure like, you know, from all of that expertise of being able to make videos, of being able to get to where you are, all of those processes, all of that hard work that you put in, of that entrepreneurial journey that you've been through, it's like that all comes together. Your essence, your energy, your divinity, that all comes together. And it's would pain me for us to get to the end of this call and you coming out of this conclusion being like, I need to sell a course for $500 and make, $5,000. Whereas you could be getting on conversations with people and selling one person for $5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000, and creating a group of people who are full of goodwill and are challenging you. And also you have this expertise to help them, to mentor them, to believe in them, and to have this proximity to where if you get on group calls and they have problems, then you can, figure out on a deeper level, instead of selling a course that's, here's the top 10 ways to make a thumbnail on YouTube on how to, it goes deeper than that, of course, like the product would go in the way future. But starting off, you want to sequence it right. And I think in order for your art and in order for you to go deeper on this level, there's a better way to do it. And I think it's via selling people at high tickets and getting them in groups.
Yeah, if I could just jump in a minute, I think I agree. I tried to put together a psychology course, and man, was it boring, all the writing and everything, and it's so much theory. And there's something in what you said, Dominic, about people just want an end point. They want to get the knowledge and then get the results, and that's the value. It doesn't work like that in psychology. It's about process. Um, and I don't know Lauro, what you can take from this. I'm just sort of thinking out loud, but it's about selling process rather than results. And process is found when you just, yeah, like Dominic rightly says, when you just talk to people. So you're selling yourself you're selling who you are rather than what you know, because who you are connects with others and then helps them process, and you process things together, just like now. Right. But if I was to sell a course, I wouldn't connect with anybody, and I wouldn't engage in a process with them, which is probably lifelong. They're not gonna, no one's gonna do a psychology course and be healed. It's just not gonna happen. So I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but it's definitely something about selling who you are rather than what you know. Um, and engaging in like an ongoing endless process with other people, because that's what life is. It just continual conversations. So that's what just come to my mind.
Yeah, and to add on that, like those lifelong conversations, like the people you met in Rome from the community, right? You would build this community of gratitude. Whereas if you're selling shit at like $500, there would be no gratitude. People wouldn't engage that much in the community. Whereas if you showed up on group calls and you showed the work and you showed that like shit, like it's so difficult, but I'm going through this. I'm speaking English, even though I speak Italian. Like all of that, all of you will come through in these conversations. And that happened in this conversation as well when you were talking with Benjamin and Benedict. And so, like, you're already that mentor, you're already that good teacher, as you said. And you can be that shining light for other people and stand out from all of these other courses and all of these different marketing stuff. You have this great expertise in sales. And at the same time, like, this is the next level.
also what people do is like they like to start out with like just one-on-one coaching, because then they are able to identify the exact problem. So if like Laura, you would make a course right now on interior design, like what you can fall into accidentally is like creating it around some topics and later realizing these are actually not the biggest problem. So you are not solving the biggest problem. But if you start getting on course with people at the start, then you start to seeing what their biggest problem is. And because it's one-on-one, you can have a bigger impact. And once you maxed out your time, you can then do like group coaching. And if you maxed out that, then maybe mastermind, or you can just package all of that into like some high ticket course and like sell it later. That, but usually that's like comes as a last step. And yeah, because it's like, you know, what if you build something that doesn't solve their biggest problem? So that's like, it's like people usually starts from the let's identify what's the biggest problem and let's get to know the market. And even during that process, you will get to know your avatar better. So it even goes back to now you can make even better content because now you understand where you make the content too. So now you can even talk about those problems in the YouTube videos. So it clears this upward spiral flywheel.
I guess it's a multi-step process. It's like, and it's also sometimes there are multiple ways to provide your own expertise from my standpoint. You can have a one-to-one conversation, training one-to-one. You can have a class with multiple individuals. It's all about, how much you're gonna evaluate your time, because typically one of the main reason why I thought about a course with a community behind, of course, it's to make it affordable to those who cannot afford neither a school in Italy nor a one-to-one course, because as you can tell, we are talking about 2,000-3,000 euros for a course like this, because it's we're talking about hours, days, of training. And a course for me, I mean, actually was one of my first ideas, is to invest a lot of your time to make something that is as complete as possible, to cover as many topics as possible, that gives the same level of education that I got in 3 years in school, spending 60,000 euros. But because I'm making it public, it's much more affordable to everybody. Some of the people, if I'm looking at the analytics of my channel, most of my people, and I'm very, very happy about that. I don't have people younger than 18 years old, which is okay, because my target are students that are finishing, the high school, and they want to start this career in interior design. So from 18 to 45. But most of those people, they have a 9 to 5 job. Probably they are making 20K a year, 25K a year, and they cannot afford anything more than 2, 3, 400 euros. So if I'm giving only the option to connect with me, asking for 2, 3 times the amount of money, because it's a lot of time that I'm dedicating every time to this, probably I'm cutting, I'm cutting off most of the people. They would have loved to learn something, but they cannot afford it. So to answer your point is, I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible, to make it available to everybody. And of course, would be amazing if I could create also a next level course, a class live and a one-to-one. But I want to give the possibility to everybody to take advantage of it, not only to make money. Look, think about it. It's not more, as I said before, I'm not interested in money, because when I was in Canada, I was making 300,000 plus a year. And I had no reason to leave my job. But I realized that money, they are not making me happy. When I'm thinking about a course, I'm not thinking about I can make 50,000 euros a month. I can make 1 million a year. I don't give a shit about those numbers. But what I'm thinking is I can give the possibility to those who cannot afford the school I could afford to learn the same exact thing and to become an interior designer tomorrow. Am I better than my professor? Am I worse? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not here to convince anybody that I am or not. I'm here to show you in 3 years who I am. And if, according to what you saw, you consider myself a trustworthy person, and you are willing to invest a reasonable amount of money to buy a course to become the person I am, I'm the happiest person on earth, not because I see the notification in my bank account, $300 more, but because there is a person that I hope with my course is going to change his life, or is going to have the courage, to drop out his job, to leave his job and start a new adventure. Because if I had this person today, I would never spend 60,000 euros in a school. But unfortunately, I search. I was desperately looking for an online course at 2,000, 3,000, 10,000. That was all right. But there was not. So today I want to be this person, giving you who I am, all of who I am, all my knowledge, for a price that is not even a fraction of what I'm paying, but it's nothing. Because worst case scenario, now, after 3 years, in my bank account, I see $60,000 less. And if I don't like it, or if I realize that I don't give a shit about interior design, we have a problem, because it costed me $60,000. But it's a different story if I'm spending $500 and I said, oh, you know what? Probably I like, my 9 to 5 job, making 100,000 plus a year with no headaches or whatever, but it's not going to change my life. After 60,000 euros, I can be broke. Okay. So it's more like for giving a chance to those who don't have it, because if I would make something to connect more, it would cost much more. That's the short answer, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree on everything except information should be affordable, right? You shouldn't have to spend $60,000 on a 3-year program and take away like a degree and be able to, go use that degree and try to get some sort of jobs. You should have that information free online, right?
I mean, not free, because people, they're investing time, they are putting effort. Like, it's not only about what you know, because what you know costed you time, sacrifices, because time is sacrifice. I'm studying and I'm not spending time with my daughter. I'm making a video, I'm not spending time with my wife. I'm missing my dad's birthday. So people that they have this knowledge, Benjamin, Benedek, they are sacrificing important thing in life to be the person who they are today and to get that knowledge. Plus, you're going to spend another amount of time to create a content or a documentation or whatever it takes to share with the rest of the world, that is gonna require you knowledge in talking, knowledge in recording, knowledge in editing, knowledge in marketing. Benjamin was saying, I'm good at everything, but marketing, forget about it. But if you want to sell something, you either be good or you need to pay somebody to do it. So I don't agree that should be free.
But
I
it should be
agree that
affordable.
should be affordable
Gotcha.
because you need to pay somehow the sacrifices other did, to give you this knowledge, but affordable, not like US university that you need, to sell, your lungs, to pay the tuitions, that's craziness. But that's another story.
Yeah, okay. So you want education that you learn to sell it and have it affordable instead of, super expensive, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Everybody, to follow their dreams.
Yeah. And I think, oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm just wondering if like a course is like a second best option for somebody who is inaccessible. So someone can't access you, Lauro, right? For example, they can't afford to speak to you. So the course is like, well, just do the course. It's cheaper. It's like an inferior option of accessing you. But really, everybody wants to access you. So you're trying to make yourself more accessible, right? For people who don't have much money. But I think what I'm trying to say is the key point is everybody just wants to access you. And how can you make yourself more accessible? They don't, if most people, if they had a choice, like for example, if you said to me, do you want to, one of my heroes is a guy called James Hillman. If you do you want to do a James Hillman course or do you want to meet James Hillman? I mean, it's like, no, it's obvious, right? So that's really the energy there. They want to connect with you. They want you, but they can't afford you. So they'll go through the course. And I think it's about, I see what you're saying about making it affordable. I see what Dominic's saying about making it free. But I wonder if it's about, how you're prioritizing making yourself accessible. Like that's the most paramount thing.
You made a great point, Benjamin. I'm very happy that you asked this question. And my answer is I don't want to make a multi-step, actually not a multi-step. I don't want to make a multi-package option for people. You want to be third class, second class, or first class. My option when the time will come will be a course because I want to reach as many people as possible. And I want this course to be as affordable as possible. But at the same time, I love spending time with people. And the proof of this is I accepted Dominic's invitation probably in 3 seconds. He sent me this do you want to join? What is, actually I said yes. And then I asked what the course is going to be about, what this with call is going to be about.
Yeah, me too. It's the first time I've done that actually.
So I said yes. And then, oh yeah, about what? Okay, so that's the person I am. And to answer your point is, I wanna connect with people. And every time somebody is asked, today it's easy because I have not even 12,000 people, following me on YouTube, and mostly, are from outside Italy. But everybody sometimes send me a DM or ask me to hang out. I say yes because it's very, very few people, probably under 100, so far. But tomorrow, what I would like to do is I would like, to have this kind of community meeting, but not only for my community, but for me with my community. Well, with the money that I make with the course, I can pay the event. I can pay. I don't want to ask people to pay a fucking ticket, to meet a person or whatever. The money that you make when you pay your bill, they must be invested in create, a connection with your community. I'd like to travel. I love United States. I love Europe. I love traveling. And I can't wait to have enough people to justify, a little event, in Charlotte, North Carolina, or I don't know, in London, or I don't know, wherever, in Rome, wherever. So to answer, I don't know if I answer your question. The way I want to connect with my community is not in a one-to-one training, because honestly, I won't be enough to have a one-to-one, because if I will accept one-to-one training, I will reach a point very, very soon. I will be forced to say no to more people than the one that I say yes. And then in that case, I will compromise, the possibility of those people that got a no to connect with me. So this is why I don't want to give this option, because this option is not sustainable. Okay, so that's I don't know. That's probably my answer.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if there's something about, you'll never be able to speak to everybody. And, I think you're talking about if you were just like doing a one-to-one thing, eventually you're going to get a backlog and then a waiting list. And I think that's, I don't know the answer to this, I'm just thinking out loud, but I think that's generally what happens like when people become quite popular. And then that's the point when they take their price up because they got a long waiting list and it's demand on their time. And then they're like, well, it's not 50 quid anymore, it's 100 quid, it's 150. And then you get these people who charge £500 an hour. So that, and I can sense that's not what you want to do because it's not fair on the people, so to speak, right? I understand that. Yeah, I don't know the answer to it, but I'm just,
Yeah, for example, this guy, Tom Nosk, I joined his waiting list for this course for a brand identity and so on, but not because of the brand identity or whatever. It's just because I empathize with the person. I love the way he talk. I love the way he's been through life and all the failures he's been through and the way that he stood, those failures. So I connected with this guy. That being said, this guy is offering only one possibility of coaching, and is a live session. Actually, it actually is a 5 weeks, 20 hours, well, actually more than 20 hours. There are 20 lessons, 2-3 hours each. Himself with some guests or some people that have been through the past course and so on. Is a live thing. Is a Q&A and so on and so forth. So the best way to connect with this person. And he's charging 1500 US dollars. 1500. I can afford this amount of money. I have to do sacrifice. I can afford this money because I connect with these people, with this person. But I am 100, and he has 400,000 followers, 450, something like that. Right now, he said that last year he made $1 million only with this course, 1 million. When I say this big number, $1 million, I couldn't care the less. The first thing I think about is how many people they couldn't afford this amount of money to have probably a better training. I would rather make $100,000 a year because for me, they are more than enough to have more than a decent life today here in Italy. But having people that they're sending me thanks in an envelope, handwritten, or wanted, to meeting up, or having this community that is talking to each other, that is self-sustainable. People, they learn and they answer questions to the other people because they learned. And I want to be part of this community. I want to be the one answering those questions, having video call with people once in a while, having people, but making $100,000. So the fact that it was making $1 million a year, for me was it was nothing. Okay, so I just want I just want to give the best thing everybody can afford, something like that. So that's my ultimate goal.
This has made me think. I've barely even thought how I'm going to make money out of this.
It's a future problem.
Yeah, maybe it's a future problem. Yeah, I mean,
But
I earn money from my career. I mean, it's drying up, which is there's a pressure point. There's a pressure's building because some changes are happening. Sorry to change the subject, Lauro. But changes are happening in my field, which is not necessary to go into. So, certain avenues of clients are drying up. So there is a pressure building to do something to bring more money in. The fact that it's YouTube, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't. What am I trying to say?
yeah, it sounds like
I'm not doing it for money, but it would be nice if this if this balances something out.
Right.
So I'm sort of conflicted. Am I doing this for money? Do I have a financial pressure that could be resolved by this? But I don't really give that too much attention, because if it really came to it, I'll just go and get another job somewhere. But then I'm not thinking about it at all, actually, and I don't want to get caught into something where, I'm maybe, let's just say, it's rolling and I'm giving a free session, one a day or something, and I'm making a video every day, right? That would have to have a return at some point, right? And I haven't even really thought about what that is. Well, I did have one idea, which was, in order to uh, get people off social media, they sort of see the video and they're kind of directed to a group which has like a small subscription where they can talk to real people, because a lot of people on social media are not real. Like, the comments are not real. Um, and I just trying to get people to a real space, talking with real people, where they can then volunteer to have a recorded session, and that maybe that's a subscription. I don't know how I feel about that. So yeah, I'm waffling a bit, but it's because I'm very unclear on how I can monetize this, and it's not the core, like Laura says, it's not about the money, but at some point it might have to be, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
what does that look like?
A lot of people have this, especially when they're trying to do this work, right? And then at some point, you have your art, you have your expertise that you share, but you need to, make money somehow eventually.
Mm.
And a lot of people get stuck in, like, selling their work for hourly wages, or a small, or s- uh, sorry, small amount of money for a community per subscription or something like that. And just coming off first principles, if you charge at a low price, you're going to be attracting people who are not of high gratitude, who don't have that deep connection with you, and who aren't going to, build the community with you. Instead, they're going to try and feed off whatever you have, and they're going to, take as much as they can and try and replicate it, or try and, take advantage of you. And this goes for, like, even $500 or $1,000. Like, the thing with charging these low prices is you're going to be attracting the wrong people. And those conversations, when you get in those communities, it's going to be so painful, because then you're not going to be, engaged with it, because there's no gratitude, because the exchange has been, like, faltered.
So like
And
cheap price, cheap energy,
ye
in the community, you mean?
Of course. And if you're
Yeah.
trying to, like, bring people in person, or trying to, have these deep, long-standing connections, then that is
Mm.
not the way to go. That's first principle off the bat. And there are
Right. Okay.
people on YouTube and in the marketing sphere, like Tom Nosk, and who's, like, selling the brand identity, selling the, a good vibe. And at the same time, the way they market is they sell by saying, I made $1 million selling this course. And you know how, like, that creates a feedback loop, because the way that they sell and they fulfill and they market is the same way that they make money. And then they show the money, and it becomes this inflated number that goes to the YouTube thumbnail. And what ends up happening is people don't actually go into that depth, and there's no actual GDP value that goes into the economy. Whereas if you took yourself, your expertise, your divinity, your interests, your passions, and you combine that and got on conversations with people and charged a high price and built a community around that. That's where exchange happens. That's where the gratitude happens. That's where you meet lifelong friendships, and you can connect in person if you want, and just have that relationship be built. And from that, from all of those insights, because those are so important, those insights, then you can translate it into whatever you're going to do, right? And you could share all that info however you want.
Yeah, so
And
what you're saying reflects something that actually my tutors would, back when I was training, they would say, you may feel you're here to help people and you feel altruistic or whatever, but if you charge £5 or £10 for a session, the clients aren't going to value it, and they might not turn up, right?
Yeah, there's no gratitude. You're either charging pro bono $0 or you're charging $10,000.
I'm not sure about that. I can do that. I'm not sure I can do that.
It's
And
just
I'm
the
open to talking
idea.
about it. Yeah.
It's
I
the
think,
idea. You don't want to get stuck in these $50 per month or $5 per month or $500 per month. Like
right.
that is poison to your creativity. You're
But
going to be stuck
what,
in
just off the top of your head, what might it look like for me then? So you're talking about creating a space which has a high level of committed and grateful energy, which is self-fulfilling in the community. It just grows and gets better. And that's of high value. And that requires, from what I understand, you're saying is it requires an investment, like a higher investment from people to join in, right? Which correlates with what I'm saying, like therapy. If it's cheap, then they're not committed, right? So I, I I honestly don't know. I'm a bit confused about how that would, what that literally looks like. So I can't square off £1,000 to enter this community where you can have free session, or we can do dream analysis, or you can talk in a brotherhood, or I could list the whole things that a community could give. But who's ever paid £1,000 to join a community? I'm not sure. I
a
definitely.
lot of people,
Yeah. Okay.
including like Lauro, right? You spent how much to get into a community?
60 for 3 years.
£60 for 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, for me, my university was what, 40,000 studying
Yeah.
chemistry. Sure, there was a
Yeah, but
network
I think I
effect.
misunderstood. What I thought you said was don't do monthly.
No,
Mm.
well, hold on. It really depends, but you shouldn't be
Okay.
charging a low price for it.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
really sounds like when you get into the flow, it's through conversation. It's
Yeah.
through talking with people, right? It could
Mm.
be one-on-one or group. It's better to facilitate via group because what ends up happening is the energy of other people when there's this gratitude, right? I'm not talking about $50 per month. There's no gratitude, and people are going to ask questions that you've already answered millions of times. I'm talking about when you're in this group with people who have paid at least like 5K, there's this connection of like other people watching this conversation happening. They're also going to add into the conversation and make it more beautiful and fulfilling. Whereas, like, if you were, doing this for $5 a month, then, people would be coming in and just like, spewing this, bad energy.
Mm. Mm. Wouldn't take it
So,
seriously. Yeah.
yeah, and so before, what I wanted to talk about, to you at least, like it's all about sequencing. It's all about sequencing for everyone, actually. Um, and it sounds like you really like talking with people and, you know, just getting conversations with people first and see what kind of problems they're facing, and then see if you could bridge that gap in offering a high ticket offer. And,
Yeah.
community can come later, but,
Okay.
having that group facilitation, it will also build you into a stronger person. It'll also help the people in the call because it's not just you, it's not just the dialogue, it's like a group dialogue, which gets even deeper.
So what sequencing?
So,
Just
okay,
like
so
step-by-step
when
processing.
we first talked about, so, trying to get on conversations with people you already know and, see if you can record that call and show it to the world, show that work, right? Show the flow state
Mm.
and emphasize on that. And then from there, like getting on calls more and more, seeing if you could, um, if you like the group way, but you said you do one-on-ones mostly.
Not keen.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not keen on
yeah,
group.
of course. Then just do one-on-ones, get, a group of high ticket clients and then show that work. And then, if you can only take so many one-on-ones up till a certain point. So eventually you'd have to do group facilitation. But then after that, like you've already gotten the insights because you charged a high price and you gotten the actual problems that people are facing, the actual feedback from, people, because, people aren't going to give you good feedback if it's for $5. They're going to be so grateful, or not, they're not going to be so grateful, but they're going to, try and take advantage of that opportunity. And then they're going to be like, oh, they're going to nitpick. They're like, why is this course like so, I'm not like even focused on this. Like I need this. And then they're going to be DMing you all night. And then you're going to be like, ah, shit. Like, what am I doing?
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I hear you. I think I may need to find a different way, though, because the conversations that I'd like to have, it's they're therapy sessions in a sense. I mean, the boundaries of it are slightly different, and it's all, the consent would be arranged a little bit differently, but it'll be professionally done. It can't and because the idea is to have them recorded like Dr. K, right? Um, and then I benefit from that content and that potential revenue. Something in me says I can't charge any money for that. So it's not the conversations which make the money, if you see what I mean. I don't think, for example, Dr. K has the conversations, but I don't think he charges people thousands of pounds for them. It's almost like that is the fuel, that work is the fuel that enables to make money, enables me to make any money if I want to off it somewhere else. I don't think, or at least I haven't considered at all, charging any money for the conversations. So that might, I think it throws a bit of a spanner in the way you're working with it. Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of challenging, especially when it comes with like therapy and the professionalism of that.
Yeah, yeah, which is very
What
important
I
to
can
me.
tell you is how Dr. K did it. He, in the first like 5 seconds, says that this is not medical advice and that this should not be regarded as medical advice, and this is more of mentoring and
Conversations.
teaching
Yeah,
and conversation and dialogue.
yeah. Okay.
And you have to make money somehow, right? And it sounds like you can get into the flow and you can use your years of experience and your passions and combine it into these conversations. And um the way Dr. K initially, even before he started posting online, was making money, if I remember correctly, was he was working for and selling his consulting for business firms. And he was
Yeah.
getting in groups of people who were businessmen and helping them through mental health and, perfectionism and getting clarity for them. And I'm sure he was charging like a high price for that.
Mm,
And yeah, that's just some information to like stick on to you, for example, in your journey. Um, yeah, it's
mm,
kind of hard when you are charging money for that, right? And there's a sense of like if you charge per hourly, it's not really ethical for the client or for yourself because, you can finish up the work if you're more efficient in, a faster amount of time if you're like video editing, for example, and you're not providing all of your depth if you were to charge hourly.
So,
And
but what I'm hearing is maybe think of yourself less like a therapist on YouTube and more of YouTube. You're a consultant, and that YouTube is just another avenue of selling consultancy, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
so you're saying that YouTube would be another way of marketing your
Yeah, I guess think
consultancy.
of yourself more like a consultant while you're doing this work rather than a therapist on YouTube. And maybe I kind of got that vibe from your videos as well.
Hmm.
It's sort of an internal switch into something which is a bit more, you are of value. People want to talk to you. It's more like a sort of consultancy ethos rather than trying to game YouTube as
Yeah,
you
it's
are.
it's not a set framework and it's different for everyone. Um, so there's
Okay.
like four ways of business, or there is four like ways to business, right? You can market a certain way, you can sell a certain way, um, you can offer, or sorry, you can offer a certain way and you can fulfill a certain way. So there's four ways:
Mm,
selling, marketing, offer, and your fulfillment. So from fulfillment comes via when you're talking in dialogue with people. That can look like one-on-ones, that can look on group, that can look on selling a course. Like there's many ways to fulfill, right? And it's trying to figure out what is most aligned to you and what you can find the most leverage in. Because at the end of the day, we need to make money somehow, and we want to have time, for our relationships, for our daughter, for our dad's birthday, for example. And using your expertise and what you're best at, you can figure out what you're best at marketing. So for me, I grew up on YouTube. I was playing video games. I learned how to make videos. And so my favorite way is to show up on camera and just try and put out a frequent resonance frequency and to see if people resonate. And so through that, you guys showed up. Some I like messaged in, of course, in the comments, but I also posted those YouTube videos and I was just seeing, and I was coming at it from like this high frequency, right? I wasn't coming at this, Mr. Beastification, high click editing. I was making it like in some way, like one take most raw possible so that I could keep at the high frequency. But anyways, so you could market a different way as well. You could do, direct messaging. You could post videos. You could do different ways of messaging. You could do different ways of selling. And it all depends on like how you want to do it. But the most important thing is what is your offer? And Lauro, you keep talking about, selling your 3 years of information in interior design. And at the same time, I think that would take away from all of the collective experience, and especially as well as Benjamin, all of the collective experience of your life and your entrepreneurial journey, and you're wanting to, mentor people and help people through these like hard topics and this troublesome topics. And yeah, selling that for like $5 or 550 or 500 is just foolish to me because you wouldn't have that gratitude and you'd get stuck in like complexity. And I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible and as leveraged as possible and just trying to help you guys see that so that you don't get stuck, so that you guys don't have this problem 6 months later or a year later and you're like, having less time than you already have. So, yeah.
Well, I definitely feel more comfortable having spoken about it with just doing what I want to do, finding a way to do it, get it done, whatever it looks like, even if it looks crap. And that's okay. It's okay to just follow my authenticity. Like, it's so funny because I'm a therapist. That's what I do every day is help people become more authentic. But yeah, I definitely feel better about that. And yeah, like we've said, who knows what's going to happen, and find the finance thing may come later, and I may find a way to monetize it in a way which is fair and sustaining. But yeah, I think for now, yeah, I definitely feel better about just cracking on with it, I suppose. So that's
Yeah,
yeah, that's been really beneficial.
one
Yeah,
caveat I want to add. If you
yeah,
have a
sure.
short-term money issue and you have to pay the bills, then you're not going to have the clarity to think clearly and, figure this process out. So if you do have a short-term money issue, you need to figure that out with a short-term money like creative solution.
Mhm.
And if you have to do some done for you work, if you have to get clients and you have to figure out your runway, like do that so that you can think clearly onto this next stage of life, and that will
I
save
would
you so much time.
I would say the money issue isn't pushing me into this, and if it did, that would make me uncomfortable. So I think that's okay. And if it came to it, I'd get a different job. I wouldn't put my chips in YouTube. I think that'd be irresponsible, personally. Um, having children and stuff, and it'd be a slow transition. Um, yeah, I need to be able to. Yeah, definitely, I need to be able to continue it forward with it without it being like without there being financial pressure. Yeah. So fortunately, it's not too bad at the moment. Yeah, but I can see what you mean. That it would blur the path really if you're under a lot of financial stress. Yeah. but I don't think I would place the remedy in entirely in this anyway, personally.
Sorry, guys, for interrupting, but I really have to go because I have my daughter that started screaming and she wants some food, for dinner. So I have to go. So I just want to say something real quick. It's been very, very interesting, these chats. I have to be honest. I didn't see that coming. I was not expecting this and went beyond my expectation. It gave me, some. I don't like people they agree with me. I like people that they put, my words, under a different light. They let me think, and I definitely got all of this. And I will think about it. I will think about the course. I will think about, connecting with people. I will think about pricing. I will think about everything, especially what you said, Benjamin, connection with people, the way of talking with people, giving values, and so on. And I just want to say thank you, guys, because sometimes you don't even know what to expect, and you just show up, in this 4 people video call, and everything start making sense during the call, and you realize so many things. So I'm happy I joined, and I want to say thank you to Dominic for inviting me.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Oh my God. I'm so stoked that you came and that we got to do this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if in the future you want to invite me even more, I will be more than welcome.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'm gonna be doing this like every week.
Okay.
So
I'm
I'm
happy to come back. Yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely. Whenever you want, guys, I'm just one message far away.
Gotcha. What's like I'm thinking of Tuesday at the same time at 6 my time. Is
Where are you?
I'm in okay, well, whatever time, same time, but Tuesday. Does
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm free
does that
Tuesday.
work?
Yeah, yeah.
It can work. Can work on
Okay.
Tuesday.
Benedek, I know we didn't get to too much with you, but I hope you got some
It
value
it,
out
it
of the
can work.
conversation.
It's 2 a.m. here, but it's like I'm
Uh,
used to like this place of the earth being,
Oh,
pretty
that's
bad
true.
time zone.
Bali's so far out.
Guys, I must
Yeah.
go. I'll see you next
Awesome.
week,
It
guys.
was so
hello.
wonderful. See you
Nice to
next
meet
Bye.
you.
week.
Very nice to
Thank you
meet
so
you.
much for hanging out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night as well.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, thank you very much. It's been yeah, it's been good for me at, a kind of meta process. It's been good for me to just engage with something like this, regardless of the outcome. I think, at the start of the session, I was dealing with the confidence issue and the stage fright, being in front of camera. It's a real bother in my life and connecting with people. So I'm really happy I just jumped in, turned the camera on. It's been great talking with you guys. Um, just to throw things around. Yeah, I really just needed to connect with people, I think, which I sensed that's what you're offering. It wasn't necessarily about, results and answers. It's more just like having a hangout and a discussion. It's been really nice to do that because I'm quite isolated out here. So thank you, Dominic, and thank you, Benedict. It's been nice to meet you.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
thank
so
you.
nice to meet you too. And by the way, you show up so great on camera. Like, oh my God. Yeah, like the microphone and the visuals, and you got this whole aesthetic going. It's so sick. And I'm so glad you joined and you got your camera on
Yeah, I
and you
appreciate
like
that.
pushed through that
Yeah,
fear
yeah,
and look at you like so confident. And it's so
yeah,
nice to see.
yeah. I guess so. I don't always necessarily feel it. Some people say, I don't understand why you're not confident. You look so calm all the time, but it's a little bit different inside. But maybe that's the same with everyone to a degree. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, I'd like to stay in contact or exchange emails. Um,
Yeah, of course. I'm
that's
gonna send a Zoom link for a reoccurring meeting every Tuesday.
yeah, okay. So Zoom, do I have your email here?
I have yours on here. I
Yeah, drop me
can
an email so we can
can
also.
I chat? Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh God, I'm on my girlfriend's keyboard and I don't know where the okay, whatever. It's
Oh, I can see this video here from Benedek. I'll check that out.
Yeah,
okay.
I sent that video about like the importance of first starting and then learning because people like just tend to fall into the opposite of like learning and not doing, because they have this fear of failure and perfectionism.
Right.
But like what I personally learned, that it all comes down to the fact that we tell stories to ourselves, and if we put ourselves into the arena, that what can happen is it turns out that the stories we told ourselves is not true. If I told myself that I'm a good with YouTube because I've been working with YouTubers, but I put myself in the arena and then my content suck, then I'm confronted with reality and my ego will like break in that sense. And it's like we just want to avoid that as humans.
Mm.
I mean, the video is not that detailed, but like
Yeah,
this
I'll
is
watch it.
something
Yeah.
I also like took away lately from.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna duck out and
Oh, and so can I post this on YouTube finally?
yeah, that's fine. The bit at the beginning where just
Yeah,
post it
I'll
after
take that out.
after I turn my camera on.
Of course. Yeah.
Just cut out the neurosis.
No, it's okay. I'm so glad you were able to come in, and it was so nice to meet you as well,
dude.
Benedek and Benjamin. So cool.
Are you in the UK?
I'm in France right now. I'm
Oh,
currently in
okay.
France. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw in your video standing in front of a beautiful cathedral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It's an abbey. I don't know. Yeah, it's an abbey and it's
Yeah.
in Rouen,
Okay.
France. So
Yeah.
it's like an hour 30 from Paris.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming along. Thank you guys for joining, and hopefully we can keep on diving deeper and keep on continuing and finding more alignment, and yeah, just seeing how things go. And it's not like a quick fix process. It takes a long time. And at the same time, you can get results really quickly if there's enough clarity, enough truth in the work and expertise. And I do best in conversations and chatting with people. And so I just wanted to have this space. So thank you guys for coming along, and yeah,
Very welcome. All right.
awesome.
See you potentially in a week.
Have a nice night.
Bye for now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.